Hi everyone! I hope you're all having a great week. This week I've decided to do a little bit of work in my personal art journal, and I'm gonna do a little painting on 2 pages, and I am inspired this week by the theme of rest and restoration. So the first thing I did was create a little sketch in my book, and I'll show you what that looks like and how I got going with my process. The first thing I did was sketch an image of a person at rest or in a meditative state. Once my sketch was done, I started to add color to my painting. Unfortunately, my phone stopped the recording when I was putting my first layers of paint on my image. But what I basically did is add a light wash of a skin tone, and then I added some deeper, more intense color to the areas where there was shading. After adding this initial wash of color, I decided to work on my background by adding a light grayish blue. Here I'm going to darken my shaded areas even more. When I first apply these darker colors, they're going to look very dramatic at first, but remember that watercolors dry lighter. Looking back at the initial wash of color that was put on my image, it's easy to see that adding this extra shading gives the painting even more dimension. With watercolors, it's always easiest to start with the lightest shades and then build up with the darkest shades of color. After letting this initial layer dry, I can now start adding other colors to my painting using watercolor markers. I use some of the color from her lips to add a little bit of pink to her eyelids. And then I add some of this same color to her cheeks. Now I'll start working on her hair using a variety of different colors of water-soluble markers. I'm content with her hair, so now I'll start to do some shading around her face using a marker. Now that I'm satisfied with the coloring in her face, I'm going to start working on her garments and more on the background. Using some black, I'll now deepen some of the shading in her face and I'll add some more details to her eyes. Also use my black to work on her jewelry. Here I'm using a fine tip brush and some titanium white to add some color to my flowers. And I'll use my white Posca paint pen to add some highlights to her face. I had not initially intended for this drawing to be one of Sleeping Beauty, but the more I worked on my little sketch, the more it seemed like this is what she was turning into. But there's a big difference between my Sleeping Beauty and the original Sleeping Beauty. Mine doesn't want to be woken up. She knows that rest and sleep are a big part of what makes her strong. She doesn't at all intend on sleeping her life away, and she'll wake up when she feels rested and ready. Sometimes our society is so focused on the concept of being busy that we forget the importance of rest in leading a healthy and balanced lifestyle. Working on these journal pages was a meditative and grounding practice. I hope it was an enjoyable process for you to watch as well. Thanks again for joining me on this journey. I hope you have a wonderful week and happy creating!